Hello there, the internet. My name's Terence Eden. I just want to talk to you about Hyperthread, the new project I'm working on. So this is app.net. It's a bit like Twitter at the moment. Here's a conversation that started off by a chap called Kyle. As we go down, we can see all the replies, but we can't easily see who is replying to who. So this person comes underneath this person, but the post is directed to someone higher up, which is that person, and it all gets a bit tricky to try and work out who is talking to who, especially as we go down this monster thread. Is Steve talking to the person just above, or is it a reply from earlier? Very confusing. Now, some projects, like Sendtagger, indent conversations, so you can more easily see conversation threads, so this should be fairly familiar to you if you've ever used a forum or Usenet or something like that. The only problem is as we go down, these get deeper and deeper, but here Sham is replying to Joanna, but we have to scroll up and find out which, it's not that one, it's this one that he's replying to. There's no link, easily to see link between the strands of the conversation, and once we get really deep into it, you can start to see that could be quite problematic. So this is what I've come up with. This is Monkey Thread, and you can see here this is the initial post by Kyle. And from there we can see that there's two main strands of conversation. There's this one here which peters out quite quickly, and as we click on each of the posts they animate, so we can see what's going on, and the text and picture appears up there. So if I head back up to this main thread, what we can see is, well, there's lots of conversations coming out down here, and we can read them as we go past. This one peters out quite quickly, but this strand, this thread of the conversation, actually becomes quite interesting. We can see this one here has had 4 main replies, and beneath that 69 replies in total. So let's take a look and see what happens. And as we delve down, it's visually really easy to see that this post is in reply to that one, which is a part of this thread and has nothing to do with this part over here, which would be really complex otherwise. And we can go down and we can take a look at Steve Lawson and his conversation and how that goes down, and again we can see exactly who is replying to who, and then all of a sudden this thread kicks off, an enormous conversation, which we can investigate and just keep going further and further down. So this is what monkey threading looks like, which I think is quite nice. And then this is the experimental one, which I'm going to show you, which is Hyperthread. So what I've done here, if I just reload this page, oh great, people have started banging on the walls. Well, that's marvellous, but ignore the noises in the background. So the way this works is, oh, doesn't that look pretty? So I can see Kyle there, and I can see here are the conversations, and the arrows indicate the direction of the conversation, and I can investigate. I think this is done to 7 or 8 levels deep, but I can click on this strand of the conversation and see what's happened here, and we get this lovely animation as everything reorientates itself. And you can pan around this. You can also just do a normal zoom in and zoom out if you want to, and you can see here that this conversation just goes all the way up there, and so we can take a great look at that and just keep moving through. And I just think this perhaps, especially when it's zoomed out, isn't the easiest way to view a conversation, but you get an immediate sense of how complex these conversation threads become. And if I zoom in a bit on there, it becomes slightly easier to read, and we can say, okay, so these are the replies to Ian, and we can go along, see what happens there. And again, back on the monkey threading, I haven't set this so that it can zoom in and out, because it seems quite nicely laid out, but I might do. Or you may want to. What I've done is, the code for this is all up on GitHub. It's at edent/hyperthread. This is all built using the JavaScript InfoVis toolkit, which is really good for creating this. So what I've done is I've just taken a conversation thread from app.net, which looks like this. I've used their API, called this. Each one of these posts has an in reply to ID, which allows us, much like Sendtagger here, to say this post is in reply to that post, and this post is in reply to that post. And then I've just plotted them on a tree like this, and I think it's really interesting. I think it's a I mean, if I do say so myself, I think it's visually really compelling. I think it's beautiful watching the animations, but also I just find it fascinating to see how these conversation threads start and how they progress. So if I take a look at this one, see here what starts off as a single post by Trine splits off in several directions and becomes more complex as we follow it down, and the same one taken in Monkey Thread looks like this. So yeah, you can see there it starts with just a few replies, but then quickly branches out into all sorts of conversations. So you can take a look at these URLs. I'll put the URLs on the YouTube vid, or you can have a play with the open source code. Okay, thank you very much.